WrestleMania 42 will take place in Las Vegas in 205 days' time, but in today's video, I'm going to try and predict the full WrestleMania Saturday card 7 months early. I'm Ben Allison here at Wrestling Republic, a wrestling fan of 16 years and the founder of Wrestling Republic, and if you guys haven't seen these videos before, well, they often age horribly. My track record is absolutely dreadful, but I am hopeful this time. I have confidence that the card this time has a better chance of being the accurate one. We'll see how well that ages. But without further ado, let's get into it. Also, make sure to leave your WrestleMania predicted card in the comments down below as well. I always love to read your comments. The match which I predict is going to open WrestleMania Saturday is a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, with AJ Lee defending against both Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, as we know, Lyra can't challenge Becky while she is still champion, but I don't think she is going to be champion after Survivor Series, never mind at WrestleMania, because I do think AJ Lee is going to be the one to dethrone her to win that belt. As for why Bayley's in it, well, we all know all year long there's been this kind of storyline between her and Lyra, and of course, it went back to last year's WrestleMania, WrestleMania 41, where Lyra replaced Bayley with Becky. And originally, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, my thought was Becky, Lyra, Bayley. But the issue with that, like I said, is that Lyra can't challenge Becky for the title again. I think this would be a fantastic open to the show, and in fact, I predict that Bayley will indeed win this match. And I'm not going to give predictions for the winners for all of these matches, but for this one, I do think it's going to be Bayley, because with this new character, I think she's going to be a big star once again. Up next, we have the World Tag Team Championships, and this one is a really interesting one, because I'm actually going to predict there's going to be a triple threat match between 3 tag teams who currently aren't even in the World Tag Team Championship picture. First team first, Braun and Braun, part of the Vision. We know they've just been absolutely destroying everyone as of late. They've been main eventing Monday Night Raw almost every week. In fact, it is repetitive how much they have been doing so. But I do think they are going to win the Tag Team Championship sooner rather than later and hold them all the way until the grandest stage of them all. Second team second, I have got the New Day. Look, they've lost their Tag Team Championships quite a few months ago. They're still mourning them. That's kind of their gimmick now. But the big point for why they're in this match is I can't see the New Day being left off of a WrestleMania. But there is a problem with this match, as you guys can probably tell, and that is that it's heel versus heel, and that will not work. But that is why it is a triple threat tag team match, because I predict we will be seeing the tag team of Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers, teaming together. Yes, right now they're on different brands, but let's face it, WWE loves to do trades, and I do think Phoenix is going to join Penta on Raw very soon. And this triple threat match would be absolutely insane. So much fun. Up next, I'm predicting a women's match. And not a women's match for a title, but just a normal women's singles match. Now, this is extremely rare in the history of WrestleMania, but I'm really hoping we are going to be doing more of them now. Obviously, we saw it with Jade and Naomi last year, but apart from that, there's very few examples. But the women deserve singles matches, just like the men have non-title singles matches. But this isn't going to be some happy singles match. No. Because I predict in the next few months, in fact, WrestleMania season, I should say, Alexa Bliss is going to turn on Charlotte Flair, probably joining the Wyatt Six. And Charlotte took so long to let Alexa in. Haha, pun intended. But you know what she was like. She said, we're not friends. And now eventually she is saying that they are friends and they are women's tag team champions together, and that is clearly too good to last in wrestling. So I reckon Charlotte Flair is going to be the babyface in this, but also notably that she will be out of a title picture for a WrestleMania season. Up next, get those ladders ready, because I am predicting a ladders match for the United States Championship. I think by this time Sami Zayn will have dropped the US title to none other than his old foe, Drew McIntyre. And McIntyre will basically defend against all the other singles competitors on SmackDown who have got nothing on for this WrestleMania, which I predict is going to be Jacob Fatu, The Miz, Carmelo Hayes, Damian Priest, and Aleister Black. We haven't seen a ladder match at WrestleMania for a singles title in quite a few years now, so I'm really hoping we do get to see this, because while the tag ladder matches have all been bangers, I do miss when we'd have like an IC or US title ladder match out of WrestleMania. And also, all those names I mentioned really do deserve to be on the WrestleMania card, and I'm not sure where we can really fit them in if that isn't the case, because originally when I was trying to come up with ideas for this card, I just put down Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, but then that leaves Miz, Hayes, Priest, and Aleister Black all off the Mania card, and that's just not good enough. And there's enough overlap between all these guys too. You could easily make this a ladder match with this many months to go. Up next, I'm predicting a 6-man tag team match with the Wyatt 6 taking on Solo Sikoa and the Usos. That is right, this past week on SmackDown, we saw literally 2/3 of the MFT faction just disappear into thin air, and I reckon the reason for this is not injuries or anything like that, but just rather they have decided, okay, this faction isn't working, let's scrap it. So I think everybody's going to leave Solo Sikoa. He's going to be all alone. He's going to go on a little bit of a losing streak over the following months, and eventually the Wyatts will start feuding with him. Uncle Howdy will start stalking him, and at this point, Jimmy Uso makes the save. Because we're currently seeing a lot of tensions between Jay and between Jimmy on Raw, and I reckon soon enough, Jimmy's going to leave Raw and return to SmackDown, where he technically is still contracted. And we know Jimmy is a very forgiving guy. Let's face it, all this family are very forgiving. They turn on each other just constantly and immediately forgive each other, other than Jay, apparently in the last year or whatever. But I reckon Jimmy's going to forgive Solo, basically. He's going to help him, but the numbers game is going to still be too strong, with the weeks leading into WrestleMania being them trying to persuade Jay to help them, and at first he will say no, but eventually he will say yeet. And then we will see the three brothers back together once again. Up next, it's time for the World Heavyweight Championships, and I'm going to be honest for a second, guys. In reality, WrestleMania Saturday will realistically be the men's world and women's WWE title, with then WrestleMania Sunday being the men's WWE and the women's world. But in this example, I'm going to put both the world titles on WrestleMania Saturday. And the reason for that is this week on SmackDown, it's a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. And by the time part 2 of this video comes out, that match will have happened, because part 2 is coming out next week. So basically, I'm doing both the world titles today, so that by the time the video airs next week, all of this won't already be wrong. So anyway, for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, I predict Stephanie Vaquer will still be the World Champion, and she will defend against the Royal Rumble winner, Becky Lynch. Now look, let's be honest with ourselves here. Becky Lynch is obviously going to be in a major match at WrestleMania. She always is. And like I said already, I do think she's going to drop the IC title to AJ Lee, but then a few months later, she's going to be back in the world title picture. And honestly, I'm not mad at it, right? Because Stephanie Vaquer is a new star on the main roster. She is not necessarily a big draw yet, even though she is hugely popular with hardcore fans. But putting her in a match with Becky Lynch, she's going to get a lot more eyes on her, and she's going to become a big star for years to come. And also, I do just think it's going to be a really good match. Now, as for the Men's World Heavyweight Championship, you guys know me if you've seen any of my content this year. All year long, I've been predicting Seth Rollins against Sami Zayn for the world title. But I am now going to scrap that prediction, and the reason for it is, one, Sami Zayn is on SmackDown. I mean, again, that's not a huge deal because he could just win the Rumble and then go the other way. But secondly, just because I think he's lost too much popularity. Oh, and thirdly, I don't think Reigns versus Rock is happening anymore. I think that's going to be at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi. So I predict Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, the World Heavyweight Championship. The two rivals are finally going to have a singles one-on-one match on the grandest stage of them all. This match is quite frankly worthy of main eventing night 2 of the show, but I am going to predict it main events night 1. Now, the only challenge about this match is you are going to have to drag out this feud for so long. They've already dragged it from WrestleMania all the way to the end of September now. Roman Reigns is probably going to return very soon, so you'd have to drag it for a whole other 7 months. But that's not to say you can't do the match before then, though, because you could save it until the Royal Rumble and have some weird finish at the Royal Rumble leading to WrestleMania. Because back in the day, that used to happen quite a lot. You'd have a Royal Rumble rematch as the WrestleMania main event. But in recent years, we haven't seen it, I don't think, at all. But there we have it, guys. My predicted card for WrestleMania 42 Saturday. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Peace.